Good evening. The NVUSD Board of Education is holding a regular board meeting tonight, and we invite participation either remotely or in person. Directions on how to participate via Zoom are available at nvusd.org/board. The open session part of the meeting will begin at around 7 p.m. Item B, public comments on closed session items. Before going into closed session, the board is available for public comment on closed session agenda items. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comments on closed session agenda items online?
There are no public comments on closed session items.
Thank you. Seeing that there are none, the board will now adjourn into closed session. Okay, we are now reconvening to open session. Good evening. My name is Lisa Chu, and this is the Napa Valley Unified School District Board of Education. The NVUSD Board of Education is holding a regular board meeting tonight, and we invite participation either remotely or in person. Directions on how to participate via Zoom are available at nvusd.org/board. Spanish interpretation is available for tonight's virtual board meeting. Our interpreters are Claudia Lindgren and Francisco Mesa. One of the interpreters will now translate the directions on our English channel so our Spanish-speaking families may hear the instructions.
Sí, buenas tardes y bienvenidos a todos. Para quienes deseen escuchar esta reunión en español, por favor sigan estos pasos en su pantalla. Primero, busquen el icono de un globo terráqueo en la parte inferior de su ventana de Zoom que dice Interpretation o Interpretación. Si están en un teléfono o tableta, presionen los tres puntos que dicen More o Más y luego seleccionen Language Interpretation o Interpretación de idioma. Al hacer clic se abrirá un menú. Seleccionen la opción que dice Spanish o Español. Una vez seleccionado, si escuchan ambas voces al mismo tiempo, pueden elegir la opción Mute Original Audio o silenciar audio original para escuchar solamente al intérprete. Gracias. Thank you. Back to the board.
Thank you. Can we please start with an attendance roll call from Vera Morales, Executive Assistant?
Yes. Student Board Member Sakatani?
Here.
Trustee Shu?
Present.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Present.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Present.
Trustee Martin?
Present.
Trustee Water?
Present.
Trustee Reiser?
Present.
Quorum present. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight for our NVUSD board meeting. As we begin our meeting this evening, we would like to begin by sharing both our Napa Valley Unified School District's vision and mission statements. Our vision is that our graduates are confident, compassionate, and adaptable adults who are well prepared for life and become inspiring advocates for themselves and their community. NVUSD's mission is to prepare each student for a successful future by delivering rigorous and relevant learning experiences that develop their literacy and career-ready skills, cultivate their interests, and build resilience, compassion, and confidence. Item E1, report on closed session. Trustee Jankowicz, do you have a report from closed session agenda items?
I do. Report on closed session items. D2A personnel. In closed session, the board took action to approve the following staff recommendation effective August 1st, 2026. On a motion by Trustee Reiser and a second by Trustee Water, the board voted to appoint Christine Fears to the position of Director 3 of Fiscal Services. It was unanimous. Trustee Chu, aye. Trustee Gonzalez Mares, aye. Trustee Jankowicz, aye. Trustee Martin, aye. Trustee Reiser, aye. And Trustee Water, aye. G, public comments. Do I wait?
Great. Thank you, Trustee Jankowicz. And we know that Ms. Fears is here in the audience this evening, and we want to welcome her to the NVUSD management team. And we'd like to invite you to come up to the podium to address the NVUSD community and the board.
Hi, everyone. I'm Christine Fears. I just want to say thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. I'm beyond excited to be part of the business team and the NVUSD family. I'm looking forward to serving the district and our schools and the students as well as the community. So thank you so much.
And that concludes the report.
Okay, thank you. Item E2, flag salute. I'm going to ask Student Board Member Sakatani to lead us in the salute.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, item E3, announcement. This meeting is live streamed and recorded via Zoom and will be archived on the district YouTube channel. For a detailed review of any meeting agenda item, the archive video can be referenced on the district's webpage at nvusd.org. The process for public comment can also be found on the district's webpage. Item E4, approval of agenda. Before I ask for a motion, we will be pulling items J2A and K3A from the agenda. And now may I get a motion for the agenda as amended?
Move to approve?
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Student Board Member Sakatani?
Aye.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. All right, item E5, approval of minutes, June 18, 2026.
Move to approve?
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. We don't ask for public comment on this, right? No. Okay. All right, student board member was not here, so all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Robin, I think you were not.
Oh, that's right, I abstain.
Okay. An abstention from trustee Jankowicz. And motion passes. All right, June 25th, 2026 minutes.
Move to approve?
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, trustee Jankowicz will abstain, and so motion passes. All right, we are now on to item E6, recognition of visitors and employee organizations. Dr. Massetti, do we have any visitors in attendance?
We don't have any visitors or representatives from employee organizations this evening, President Chu.
All right. Item G, public comment on non-agenda items. Trustee Jankowicz, do we receive any public comments on non-agenda items via email?
We did not have any public comment on non-agenda items submitted via email at publiccomment@nvusd.org before 8 a.m. this morning.
Okay, no public comments via email. All right, before I open the floor to public comment on non-agenda items, I would like to explain the rules that govern this area of the meeting. The Brown Act open meeting laws under which we are required to operate prohibit board members from discussing items that you may bring up that are not on our current agenda. The reason for this legal restriction is to make sure that anyone who has an interest in a particular district business matter knows through the board's posted agenda when we will be discussing it as a board so that they may also be present and provide input on the item. We are very happy to have you here to let us know your concerns, but please know that while we cannot discuss items that are not on the agenda, we are listening to your voices, and we expect and know that our staff will follow up with us on issues raised by members of our community. Relevant to the remainder of the board agenda, please understand that the board listens and considers public comment on the agendized items during our meeting. However, public comment is not intended to be a two-way dialogue between the public and board members and/or staff, and therefore trustees will not respond to individual comments. This is in accordance with our meeting procedures. We invite members of the public to provide input via public comment per our board bylaw 9323 regarding meeting agenda items. We welcome and appreciate the public's engagement and input. In sum, please know that your voice matters and makes a difference. Your public comment on agendized items might be referenced during our discussion and will be considered as we make decisions regarding agendized items. All right. Do we have any public comments? No cards, right?
There are no cards for public comment here in the boardroom.
All right. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
Yes, we do have one hand raised. Justin Hamilton Hole Go ahead, please.
Thank you so much, and welcome back to school. It's nice to see our board member back to work. And I remember when I go to school, I'm going to visit class. I go to a lot of school and learning. So I'm going to just say shout out for you all. Welcome back to school and the board members.
Okay, thank you so much, Justin. All right, any other public comments online, Mr. Michaels?
There are no further public comments online.
Okay, we will now move on to item H, reports. H1, Board of Education and Student Board Representative. We'll start with Student Board Member Sakatani.
I don't have a report at this time.
Okay. Trustee Reiser?
Thank you. Yes, because we're just coming back from summer recess, I think all of our reports are going to be pretty spare, but I did have one school district-related activity that I did at the end of July. July 23rd, I attended and represented NVUSD's board at the National Students for Climate Action Senior Recognition event. It was unfortunate that Trustee Water was not able to be there with me because she has been just an outstanding advocate for these student activists and the important work that they've done within the school district and then also within our community in the Napa Valley and even beyond. So I was very happy to be there to honor the 5 seniors, Sophie Wasef, Gemma Roberts, Claire Mulligan, Aria Adier, and Kate Bitt, who are all going on to wonderful next I think in the email that they sent me, next stages in their advocacy journeys. And so I just wanted to say how proud we are of our student advocates and activists and how important their work is. And thank Jim Wilson and his group for the adult support that they do in helping amplify student voices in our community on this issue. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Water?
Yes, well, let's see. On June 25th, we had a meeting where we, our last meeting of the year, it's a special meeting where we discussed goals. And then sometime in July, Dr. Reddy will know what date, I attended the summer school graduation where I gave the best speech of my career, I think. And on July 31st, I handed in at the last minute all of my golden gavel. I had to, the CSBA asked me, and I believe Trustee Jankowicz, did you, and you too? Okay. Yeah, well, it was exciting. I mean, it's all, online and how I am with that. But yes, it was fun to read it and study it and judge them and see what other districts are up to. And there were some very impressive people in there. And let's see. And this week I did a webinar called Leading Through Policy, and it's put on by the CSBA, and it's basically, sort of a refresher on how to be a good board member and, board policy and why it's important. And I did have a couple of meetings. One was in my kitchen with some community members, and then later on with Zoom with Dr. Massetti and Assistant Superintendent Mangwala, and with some community members who are really interested in enhancing our schools' landscaping, making it greener. And that's my report.
Thank you. Trustee Martin?
I too judged the Golden Gavel and Board Member of the Year. I thought that was really interesting to see how the sausage was made in that respect. And then, was it yesterday? I attended the Napa Valley Education Foundation Summer Intern Awards ceremony. That was very inspiring to see the opportunities that the Napa Valley Education Foundation gives to young people to actually learn job skills like showing up on time or actually money management, because they're actually making money for the first time. So that was very rewarding. So that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Jankowicz?
Welcome back, everyone. I attended numerous meetings over the break working on the Napa Valley College Foundation's Women's Leadership Initiative. I'm still engaged with CSBA over the summer, and along with my peers, I reviewed Golden Gavel submissions, Golden Bell submissions, and Board Member of the Year submissions. In addition, I had the privilege of reviewing over 30 entries from talented students across the state of California hoping to perform at the AEC conference. I continued my participation on the AEC Planning Committee, and we met numerous times over the summer. I had multiple requests for information and insight into our SOUP evaluation process, and with Dr. Massetti's assistant, I was able to provide assistance. I was able to provide multiple districts with process and timeline information. We really are cutting edge when it comes to that. I too attended the Leading Through Policy Essential Tools for Governance Teams webinar, and I'm happy to say through our policy committee, we utilize a lot of those tools to understand the impact of not only CSBA, but what is going on statewide with other districts. I attended the Napa Valley Education Foundation Summer Mentor Program graduation as well, and it was an incredible evening witnessing students get exposure to real-life skills and experience, and to hear their understanding, appreciation, gratitude for the support that the Ed Foundation was able to provide them. And even though it's just summer and we're just getting back, I've had an incredibly busy last few weeks with one-on-ones and community engagement, and I am looking forward to this upcoming school year.
Thank you. Trustee Gonzalez-Morris?
Yeah, welcome back, everyone. And welcome to our new student board member, trustee. It's nice to meet you here.
Great. All right, so I started the summer by onboarding our student board members. It was great to meet both Isabella Storm and also Brielle Sakatani. Welcome. And I also spent a good portion of the last couple of weeks to review Golden Gavel Board Member of the Year and also the School Board of the Year award candidates. I had my president check-in with Dr. Massetti yesterday, and I also attended the National Night Out on Tuesday night, where I got to interact in person. I love interacting in person with a lot of community members, and it's always a good time. And that concludes my report. All right, next item is H2, Board Representative Reports. H2A, Special Education Community Advisory Committee.
We have not met.
Okay, H2B, City of American Canyon Liaison Representatives.
We have not met.
All right, H2C, City of Napa Liaison Representatives.
We have not met.
Okay, H3, Superintendent and Executive Staff.
Great, thank you, President Chu. So good evening, President Chu, colleagues, trustees, members of our NVUSD community, those here in the boardroom tonight as well and online. Welcome back. We're excited about another year of governance. And as we prepare to welcome students back for the first day of school, I want to extend my warmest wishes to all of our students, families, and staff who I know are going to do a fantastic job of opening up schools next Wednesday. There's always something really special about the beginning of a new school year, and it's a time filled with tons of optimism, fresh opportunities, and renewed purpose. As we begin that, I do want to just take a moment to thank our dedicated employees. Thank you for the countless hours A lot of our operational teams have been on our campus. They've been having to work around the extensive construction that's been happening through the modernization of so many of our schools in the summer of 2026. So I just want to thank everybody. We know teachers will be getting back into their classrooms to make sure that they're ready to receive our students. Thank everyone for investing in our school facilities and ensuring that our schools are ready to welcome all of our students back. As we begin the year, I want to share two exciting accomplishments that reflect the strength and momentum of the Napa Valley Unified School District right now. The information that I'm sharing in this report tonight will also be distributed via formal media releases very soon. First, I'm very proud to announce that Moody's rating has upgraded the Napa Valley Unified School District's issuer credit rating from A1 to AA3, while maintaining a positive outlook and upgrading our general obligation bond ratings. This independent recognition reflects years of thoughtful planning, sound fiscal stewardship, and difficult but necessary decisions made by this board and our leadership team to ensure the long-term stability of our district. I'm very proud of this, and a lot of folks might ask, what does this mean, given that we're an educational institution? But our credit rating is absolutely important to our fiscal stability. What makes the recognition especially meaningful is that Moody's specifically cited the strength of our governance and district leadership as a key reason for the upgrade. This accomplishment translates into lower borrowing costs, savings for taxpayers, and greater financial flexibility as we continue investing in outstanding educational opportunities for our students. It is a testament to what can be accomplished when a board and district leadership remain focused on long-term success and financial stabilization. And we are all observing many, many districts around us struggling with fiscal stability at this time. I'm also equally enthusiastic and pleased to share encouraging news regarding our preliminary spring 2026 state assessment results. District-wide, our students demonstrated meaningful academic growth in both mathematics and science, with science proficiency increasing by more than 4 percentage points and mathematics continuing its upward trajectory across the district. Several of our schools posted outstanding gains, double-digit growth, reflecting the dedication of our students, teachers, classified staff, and administrators, because we all, including the board, contribute to the success and achievement of all of our students. While our English language arts results were relatively flat following last year's significant gains of over 4%, these early results reinforce that literacy must remain one of our highest priorities, and you'll see that in board priorities later. Through initiatives such as Letters, the high-impact instructional team that I got to see Dr. Reddy lead yesterday with all of our administrators and over 100 of our HIT teachers, the Writing Revolution, which will be our focus writing initiative this upcoming year, and the implementation of new data tools. We're continuing to strengthen instruction and ensure every student receives the targeted support that they need to succeed. These results remind us that meaningful improvement happens one classroom, one school, and one student at a time. It really does take time to move an entire system forward. So thank you to everybody for their hard work in making these gains for our students. This week, we also invested in the people who make these results possible. Our principals, assistant principals, and district leaders participated in our annual leadership summit, where they spent time uniting around our strategic direction for next year, strengthening their instructional leadership capacity, examining student achievement data as we aim to be a data-driven organization, deepening their work around socio-emotional learning and PBIS, and preparing for an overall successful opening of school. The energy, collaboration, and commitment from our leadership team throughout the summit was just inspiring, and it reaffirmed that strong schools begin with strong leadership. At the same time, we had the pleasure of welcoming our newest certificated employees through our new certificated academy. I just want to thank Assistant Superintendent Dana Page, Director Kate Gogger, and the entire Human Resources team for providing a positive, effective orientation to our new certificated employees. That was not the welcoming I got 20 8 years ago into the profession. And so I just want to thank the team for doing such a thoughtful, well-planned out academy that I know really will bring great benefits to these new certificated employees. I enjoyed connecting with many of the new teachers and hires while they were in the building over the 2-day academy here at the Ed Center. And their enthusiasm for joining the NVUSD team was just contagious. I have to share this. One of my favorite moments came during lunch on the second day when I met 4 of our newest certificated employees who are all proud Napa High School graduates returning home to serve the district that helped shape them. And there's a lot more stories like this. I think over half the group were educated by NVUSD or had some sort of a connection to NVUSD. But there are 2 sisters, Napa High grads, that will both be teaching mathematics at Unidos Middle School. One of the Napa High grads that I was chatting with over lunch will be joining Redwood Middle School as an education specialist, and one will be teaching physical education at Napa Junction. And they spoke with such excitement about giving back to the community that invested in them and inspiring the next generation of NVUSD students. Moments like these remind us of the lasting impact of public education and the incredible importance of growing and sustaining our own educators. So as we begin the new school year, I'm incredibly optimistic about what lies ahead. We enter the year from a position of strength, financially, academically, and organizationally, and we remain unwavering in our commitment to continuous improvement. Later tonight, I am excited to deliver a short presentation about the mutually agreed upon board annual priorities that will guide the work of the district in 2026, 2027. Thank you to our board, our employees, our families, and our community partners for your continued partnership and support. In partnership with you, I know we'll make 26-27 a great school year, and I just wish everyone a fantastic first day of school and a wonderful year ahead. So with that, you're going to hear about all the heavy lifting that's happening across the 3 divisions that our assistant superintendents lead, especially as we march up to the opening of school. And we'll first hear from our assistant superintendent, Dana Page, who oversees the Human Resources Division.
Thank you, and thanks for sharing that story. That actually makes me want to cry. That's really sweet. So good evening, President Chu, Board of Trustees, Student Representative Sakatani, and Dr. Massetti. I would like to talk more about the new Certificated Employee Academy that we just wrapped up 2 amazing days of our new Certificated Employee Academy with 68 new to NVUSD educators. And the energy in the building really was buzzing. This wasn't just a standard orientation, it was a launch pad that fully equipped our newest teachers, speech-language pathologists, and psychologists for a powerful first year and a thriving career beyond. Day 1 hit the ground running by connecting our educators directly to NVUSD's strategic vision, core values, and modern tech tools, including vital updates on district technology and AI policy. In dynamic rotation sessions, participants jumped straight into actionable strategies for social-emotional learning and inclusive practices designed for special education, general education, and multilingual learners. To ensure long-term success, Human Resources anchored the day by connecting new teachers with robust mentorships and induction systems, guaranteeing continuous support throughout the year. Day 2 kept that momentum surging by turning high-level concepts into immediate practical tools. Teachers engaged in hands-on workshops where they mastered Promethean technology, crafted daily agenda slides, and learned proactive strategies to understand and manage classroom behavior. Best of all, educators received dedicated collaborative planning time to build out their exact lesson plans, classroom setups, and SEL approaches for their crucial first 3 days of school and beyond. Specialized tracks for special education staff further ensured every educator left with a tailored roadmap for success. Our new certificated team didn't just walk out with information, they walked out with fully developed classroom plans, strong mentor partnerships, and elevated confidence. The new Certificated Employee Academy, led by Director of Professional Learning Kate Gauger, successfully primed our newest staff members to walk into their classrooms and offices on day 1, ready to inspire, lead, and flourish for years to come. Thank you, and this concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Page. Now we will hear from Dr. Monica Reddy, our Assistant Superintendent of Instructional Support Services.
Good evening, President Chu, trustees, Superintendent Dr. Massetti, and student board member Sakatani, and NVUSD community. Tonight, I'd like to kick off with a moment of gratitude to our incredible staff for delivering a fantastic summer of summer programming across the district. Learning and growing never stopped in NVUSD during June and July, from impactful math intervention programs like Valdez to inspiring performing arts camps hosted in partnership with Napa Valley Education Foundation to robust expanded learning opportunity program offerings spanning multiple sites. Our educators and support teams work tirelessly to keep 3,077 students engaged, supported, and thriving all summer long. We honored some of those very students last night, as you've heard this evening, at the MVF Summer Mentor graduation, celebrating 37 outstanding scholars. These students had an amazing opportunity to learn side by side with MVUSD employees in departments such as maintenance and operations, nutrition services, transportation, and technology, helping them become career-ready adults. A big thank you to MVF for their continued partnership and alignment with MVUSD's mission, as well as gratitude to our MVUSD managers and their teams for mentoring students this summer in MVUSD. That same spirit of student dedication is on full display right now because it is Fair Week in Napa. The yearly fair is an incredible opportunity to celebrate the Napa Valley and represents a culmination of months of hard work for our Future Farmers of America students. Whether raising goats, sheep, pigs, or bunnies, FFA students devoted countless hours to preparing their projects to share with the Napa County community. While the students are the focus, special appreciation is merited for Alexis DeMarco, our new ag teacher at Vintage High School, who worked side by side with our students to ensure their projects were ready for show. That dedication also extends to the athletic field as our fall sports season gets underway. Our student athletes have been conditioning hard throughout the summer, preparing to hit the ground running. We are particularly excited to offer incoming ninth graders their very first opportunity to connect with their school community through these athletic programs. Furthermore, we are thrilled to launch the inaugural season of girls flag football, which has already generated incredible interest and strong participation. We can't wait for the official competitions to kick off later this month. As summer programs drew to a close, we are actively gearing up for the start of another fantastic school year. Last week, we proudly welcomed back our district managers for a powerful series of planning and training days centered on building strong learning partnerships with families and students. Through dedicated training and positive behavior interventions and supports and social emotional learning, our sites are energized for the year. Additionally, SELPA Director Kelsey Petahome joined Terry Lynn Rossetti, Executive Director of Special Education, to share best practices for strengthening student and family partnerships, both day-to-day and within the IEP process. We close the week by connecting our professional learning directly to key instructional outcomes, grounding our staff in readiness for professional learning communities, and supporting our district-wide multi-tiered system of support process. This week, we welcome back our school social workers with professional learning on the California Youth Behavioral Health Initiative, CYBHI, multi-payer fee schedule, longest title ever. Co-facilitated with the Napa County Office of Education and state-level CYBHI consultant. We launched our CYBHI implementation this year. This training builds our capacity to sustain comprehensive health and wellness services for students. Principals and members of the instructional team also engaged in crisis prevention intervention, or CPI, led last week by our special education coordinator, Jennifer Can. On Monday and Thursday, 45 educators joined us for professional learning and assistive and augmentative communication, and tomorrow, 108 of our educational specialists will join us for our first ever case management day. We look forward to sharing more about how our special education team is preparing for a successful start. We are also reaching directly into the community to ensure a smooth transition for our newest and youngest learners. NVUSD has partnered with COPE to host a parent workshop series tailored for incoming TK and kindergarten families. Offered in both English and Spanish from late July through early September, these practical sessions cover essential topics like bedtime routines, positive parenting, and managing aggression. We look forward to welcoming our earliest learners and their families in NVUSD. We're excited to welcome students back for their first day of school next week and grateful to our staff for all their preparation to ensure a successful start. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. And lastly, we'll hear from Assistant Superintendent Rob Manguala, who oversees business and operational services.
Thank you for the opportunity to update the board and the community. It has been an incredibly busy summer in NVUSD with construction occurring at the majority of our sites. While walking sites, I couldn't help wondering how it could possibly be finished before the start of school. I'm happy to say with little less than a week before school begins, construction teams are putting finishing touches on phase 2 of Measure B facility upgrades. in preparation for the first day of the 26-27 school year. This has been a truly tremendous accomplishment, and contractors will literally be working through Sunday night. It has been just a tremendous amount of work. So improvements were completed at 14 NVUSD campuses with projects ranging from exterior painting, HVAC, roof replacement, and parking paving. The majority of these upgrades were funded through Measure B. Work included replacing deteriorating roofs, modernizing HVAC systems to improve indoor air quality and climate control, completing essential plumbing and electrical upgrades, painting exterior school facilities, upgrading fire alarm systems where needed, and improving campus path of travel to meet modern ADA accessibility standards, resurfacing play yards, preparing grounds for the installation of new playgrounds, and completing some large-scale paving projects. We've also had very large-scale solar installation across a number of our schools. Our facilities team and construction partners worked tirelessly throughout the summer to ensure successful completion of these projects. Our schools will be ready for the start of school, with finishing touches continuing into the fall. So as a reminder, for large-scale construction projects, we refer to them as summer slam projects. You get to about 95% in about 8 weeks, which is an enormous amount of work. And then that last 5%, they do while people are in campus. So either in the evenings working on the fire alarms, or they're doing it on the weekends. So there's still work that will happen probably up and through Christmas break, but again, much smaller in scale. This work couldn't have been accomplished with our construction management firm, Van Pelt. I want to thank the entire team, with special thanks to Kelly Jurgensen, Eric Onick, Jed Hicks, and Taylor Smith. Lots of work requires lots of money. On Tuesday, August 4th, the district sold $70 million of general obligation bonds for Measure B, which is the second of 3 bond issuances. As you may recall, the district recently received a credit issuance. Thank you, Dr. Massetti, for going over that, along with a positive outlook. This, along with the strong reputation of Napa Valley Unified School District, led to exceptional demand for our bonds, and ultimately about $1 million in savings for our taxpayers. And so at the next board meeting, I actually will bring a summary report from our financial firm that goes to the board as an informational item. The transaction generated $741 million in investor orders for a $70 million offering, representing an overall subscription level of 10.6x, meaning that we had 10 times the demand for our bonds. Nearly all the demand came from institutional investors, representing 99% of total orders. The transaction attracted participation from several high-quality institutional investors, including Franklin Asset Management, Bel Air Investment Advisors, Merrill Lynch, Eaton Vance, and Morgan Stanley, reflecting broad institutional support for the district's credit quality. The level of investor demand is a reflection of the district's strong credit quality and the market's confidence in the district's credit. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Manguala. President Chu, that concludes the executive team reports for the evening.
Thank you. I always feel very tired after Assistant Superintendent Manguala's report about how much work that has been done on our campuses, but we're very grateful for all of that work during the summer. All right, we are now on to item I, approval of consent agenda. Background information on these items is provided to the board prior to the meeting. A common motion takes action without discussion on roll call vote unless discussion of items are requested by a board member. May I get a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
First by Trustee Reiser, second by Trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There are no public comments on consent agenda items.
Okay. Ms. Morales, may I get a roll call vote?
Yes, Student Board Member Sakatani?
Present.
Aye.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Item J, presentations and discussion items. J1, General Services. J1A, 2026-27, Board Annual Priorities Presentation.
Great, thank you, President Chu. So I will be delivering this presentation. I'll just do it here from the dais. I'll wait for the slides to come up. Okay, great. Well, this has become our annual tradition at the first board meeting of the year in the governance calendar. I always share with the broader community here in the context of the board meeting, but then also reflect back to the board after the work that we conducted in June around sharing our mutually agreed upon board annual priorities as a governance team. And as a reminder, these annual priorities serve as the basis for the superintendent's performance evaluation, my performance evaluation. So let's get started. So I always like to start this presentation since the adoption of our Vision 2040. I like to start with our vision statement, which is our graduates are confident, compassionate, and adaptable adults who are well prepared for life and become inspiring advocates for themselves and their community. President Chu read that at the beginning of the meeting. Everything that we do is grounded in this aspirational vision statement, and that is true. Our board priorities are a way to operationalize this vision year by year. We also have a mission statement as part of Vision 2040, and that's what we're here to do. And so these priorities assist us in this upcoming school year to prepare each student for a successful future by delivering rigorous and relevant learning experiences that develop their literacy and career-ready skills, cultivate their interest, build resilience, compassion, and confidence. As a reminder, as part of our Vision 2040, we have our vision statement, we have our mission, what we're here to do, and we also have 3 portraits that guide the work that we do across our system. At the center is our graduate portrait, and around the graduate portrait circle, you'll see the elements, the characteristics that the community agreed upon when we developed our vision, long-term vision, and 5-year strategic plan. We talked about what do we want to see in the graduates that leave NVUSD after their TK through 12 journey, if they were here the entire time or if they joined us at any point along the way. I'm not going to go through each of the elements, but it's just a reminder that these board priorities are intended, again, to operationalize these aspirational vision tools that we have. So the graduate portrait is what we want to see, the dispositions that we want to see in our graduates. And then most districts stop there, but NVUSD went beyond just a graduate portrait, and we also adopted an adult portrait that defines the characteristics and dispositions of the adults that wrap around the students in the system in order to ensure that they get to that end. And then we also didn't stop at the adult portrait. We went one layer beyond and we defined the elements of an effective system. So what's the system that wraps around the adults that are serving our students day in and day out? I just like to set the stage with the 3 portraits because as the board and I, as the governance team, do our work of setting priorities, we hold these elements of the graduate portrait, the adult portrait, and system portrait at the center of the development of those priorities. So as a reminder, we do this work in partnership as a governance team. The governance team is made up of the 7 trustees, 6 that we have right now. We have a vacancy in Area 7, and the superintendent. The trustees and the superintendent start this work really, starting in January as we start considering budget development and as we start thinking about looking at our data for the current year and starting to assess what the needs are for next year, listening to our staff in a variety of different venues in order to inform what priorities we set. So these are really data-driven priorities based on both qualitative and quantitative data that we collect throughout the year as board members are listening to presentations and looking at the data as it's developing throughout the course of the current school year. These priorities were set, some of the board members referred to it in June during our standard annual board priority setting workshop that we conduct in partnership with the California School Boards Association. So let's dive into what we came up with based on all of that data and our learning from the 25-26 school year. And before I launch with Board Annual Priority 1, the board knows this, but for the record, I'd like the community to know this. And as we launch this with our administrators as sort of our first audience at the Leadership Summit, I know that they were really grateful because a theme across these priorities is continuity. And we know to make change and improvement in educational systems, continuity at times can be a real asset. And our data, like we kind of shared through some of our reports, is starting to demonstrate progress. So I think the board, myself, the senior team, and all the teams that we work with to get to these priorities know that, we seem to be on the right track in many areas. So you're going to see some continuity from last year's annual priorities as well. Our first annual priority is to implement a standards-based instruction. Oops, there's a typo there. I'm so sorry. It should say standards. Oh, no, I'm right. We're good. I thought we were missing a word, but we're not. Implement standards-based instruction with a focus on writing across the curriculum. So focus on standards and really developing writing across all content areas. And then you'll see on these slides, which I won't go into great detail, but we want to demonstrate to our public and the community is that, again, these priorities aren't separate from our vision and from our strategic plan. So on every slide after the priorities, we show alignment, like what part of our portrait does this priority align with? And then what strategy in our strategic plan does it help support and operationalize? Our strategic plan being a 5-year plan, the annual priorities being the 1 year. So taking a smaller chunk and really focusing on implementation for that upcoming year. So you'll see that alignment. This board annual priority aligns with system portrait, element real-world innovative learning experiences, and then, of course, strategy 1 of our 5-year strategic plan around the instructional framework. Our second annual priority, again, continuity. We had this similar annual priority last year. Actually, this one was pretty much the same. Of course, the indicators change, but we're articulating it in the same way because we've seen so much foundation built around college and career readiness. So now we just need to continue to build upon that foundation that was established in 25-26. So our second annual priority is strengthen college and career readiness opportunities for our students. Again, alignment with the system portrait, real-world innovative learning experiences, that element of the system portrait. And it aligns with our 5-year strategic plan, strategy 2, which calls out the need to establish systems for career-aligned real-world learning. Our third board annual priority is also building upon the foundation that we established in 25-26 around improving our use of data and assessment in service to improving student achievement. So you'll see that we've articulated this by stating that annual priority 3 is to strengthen our assessment framework and commitment to using student achievement data to inform our work. That also aligns with that same system portrait element focused on learning. And then it aligns with strategy 3 in our 5-year strategic plan, which is focused on the development of an assessment framework and a culture of student data use. Shifting from sort of the instructional zone and thinking now about the learning and workplace environment, we have board annual priority 4. Again, a lot of continuity here. The board's vision around this and the staff's implementation last year, we made a lot of progress in this area, so we want to continue to build upon it. So the 4th annual priority is to provide learning and workplace environments that ensure physical and psychological safety. And we added these 3 key words, and promote inclusion, belonging, and wellness. So we have our new wellness framework, all the work with our integrated wellness centers and the work around inclusion and belonging to ensure that every student feels like they can bring their whole self to school. You see alignment here with the system portrait element of wellness and healing. And this one actually has several strategies in the strategic plan that align to this. So strategy 4, that calls out specifically and explicitly cultivating a culture of belonging throughout the district. Strategy 5 in the strategic plan, which calls out the need to build and promote equitable access to health and wellness for students, staff, and families. And then we also have a 3rd strategy in our 5-year plan, strategy 7, that is around developing a comprehensive approach to improving school and district safety. So lots of strategic plan alignment there across those 3 strategies. Okay, board annual priority 5 is around professional learning. And so this one is articulated in this way: respond to our current professional learning needs, paying particular attention to those employees providing and supporting instruction. So there is a lot of focus around our certificated employees and the classified employees who support instruction, teaching, and learning in the classroom in this upcoming year. That doesn't mean that we don't, care about professional learning for all of our employees. There's plenty of opportunities for all of our employees who support students, but this priority is really zeroing in on refinement and improvement around the employees that facilitate the teaching and learning process. You see alignment here again. So this one aligns with innovation and leadership in terms of our system portrait elements. And we have strategy 6 in the strategic plan that is our 5-year plan in unifying professional learning throughout the system so that it doesn't feel fragmented for our different employee groups. Again, this year with a focus on employees that support instruction in the classroom. Okay, so those are we missing one? We're missing Board Annual Priority 6. Well, I can speak to it, even though we missed the slide on it. So Board Annual Priority 6, if you give me a second, is focused on fiscal stewardship, our technology integration, and then our facilities improvements. And that also, I'm not gonna have this off memory, I'm gonna have to pull it up. Give me 1 second. Here we go. That aligns, so again, implementation of facilities improvements, technology integration, and fiscal stewardship. And we have our system element, which is future-proofed and resilient infrastructure. And then we have 2 strategies in the strategic plan, strategy 13, which is developing a process for smart technology, and then strategy 14, which is about improving and maintaining our facilities. So that priority is around all the work that you're seeing around our bond measures, the ongoing fiscal stewardship that's absolutely necessary in today's environment of school funding, and then technology integration with a focus on AI as that becomes, as that's launched into our world and into our school systems. So then, the board knows, but again, for the public, if they're hearing about our priorities for the first time, we always set 5 to 6 annual priorities that usually impact the work of staff. But we also know that it's important as a governance team for us to also focus on our development and our improvement. So the board always looks at the California School Boards Association standards for effective governance and determines, based on where we are in our own board self-evaluation, what should be a focus for the school board in the respective year when all of these improvements are happening across the various areas that staff lead. And this year, in terms of governance, the board has decided to continue to focus on refining and expanding their board communications and engagement plan. We know that getting the board out into the community to help everyone understand the work of the school district, the progress that we're making, our identified continued areas of growth is absolutely critical. Helping the public understand what the school board does and the impact of effective governance on student achievement is also critical. And so our board needs to really think about how they engage and communicate effectively in order to accomplish that with the community. So we have a system portrait alignment there with the element of proactive and sustaining governance. And then we have two strategies in the strategic plan, one around board engagement and communication. So this one aligns perfectly with that. And then we also have one around deepening our governance framework. And a piece of our governance framework is the board's commitment to ongoing engagement and effective communication with the constituents and the stakeholders that they serve. So with that, that concludes this year's presentation and introduction to the 26-27 board annual priorities. And I want to thank the board for all of their hard work in developing these. And as you know, these will serve as the anchor for my performance evaluation. And I look forward to providing the board an update at the superintendent midterm evaluation in January or February. And then, of course, our final evaluation report, which will be generated in June once the school year is over, to determine where the progress is made and where our ongoing areas of growth continue to be. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Massetti. I am going to ask for public comment. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay, and I'm going to open comments from the board. Trustee Reiser?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Massetti, for such a clear communication of the work that we did back in June. And I just wanted to say how grateful I am for our governance structures that produce this work that you just presented, because I think the efficiency and progress that we cultivate here comes out of that unity of purpose. And it is very easy in an organization and a system of our size with competing priorities and stakeholders who are passionate about different aspects of their student or their, of their educational experience. There can be so much, and I'm going to say so much noise, not in a dismissive way, like it's not something that we want to listen to and integrate and absorb, but there is just so much competition for resources, and by resources I mean not only money, but also the time, bandwidth, attention, and dedication of everyone on the team that works in service to our students. So I just really appreciate this opportunity that we take every year to share with the community the direction that we're rowing this year, and to show to showcase how incredibly intentional we are with that work. You use that word continuity a lot, and that we are intentional not only with the work that we do to create the annual priorities, but we are incredibly intentional about the continuity of that work year to year, understanding that charging a team with a set of progress indicators, and then saying, okay, next year we're going to do this, and it has zero to do with all that good hard work they did that year, is not productive. It does not enhance our impact. And so I just am very proud of the way we as a team operate to adhere to. We adopted it because this process changed over the 6 years I've been on the board. We adopted and then refined, and then we adhere to, and that is part of the, I think, amazing cohesiveness that we have as a team. Because you started off your presentation saying these are our mutually agreed upon priorities for this year. And so I just think there's such power in just the fact that of our process and what it renders for not only for us in the oversight role, because we have such precise and curated and thoughtful progress indicators. So just also to say for the community listening, these are our priorities, but then there are long detailed lists of, and we will know this happened because this will be done and this will be done and this will be done. So it is far more curated and detailed and intentional and purposeful even than what your excellent overview provided. And so I just, I think that continuity, that commitment to our unity of purpose and to maximizing every resource that we have available to us, including the precious time and bandwidth of our teachers and instructional aides and everybody in the system. So I just am very proud of not only the work that you just presented, but the process and what it says about us and what it ensures about us maximizing our impact to benefit students.
Trustee Jankowicz?
But I always have to prepare my comments. And this was a very well-articulated description of our priorities, but it is also a reminder of how fortunate we are. We as a district have such a clear, thoughtful, and substantive set of priorities guiding our work, and we have worked hard to be in a position that we don't simply have to react. Priorities proactively establish a shared vision, they set meaningful goals, they align efforts to achieve lasting results. And what always amazes me about this process is the depth of our goals and our consistently our consistent ability to achieve them. This presentation reflects the thoughtful work that you, your leadership team, the board, have done together to create this roadmap, and it keeps our work purposeful, intentional, and centered on what matters most, which is our students. But just as importantly, we have this strategic, I cannot speak this evening, we have this strategic framework, staff, and organizational capacity to turn these priorities into meaningful action, and I think that's really critical. Businesses set priorities, families set priorities, and school districts set priorities. And priorities allow us to intentionally invest in our students' future rather than just getting into this kind of rhythm of managing routines. By deciding exactly what must be accomplished, we ensure our core values dictate where time and resources go. This gives our entire NVUSD community the strategic clarity we need to turn our expectations into realities. And priority setting sets the tone for the school year. And so it allows us to appreciate the work that has brought us to this point and also allows us to be excited about what we can accomplish in the year ahead. And I want to thank you all for that, and team.
All right, any more comments? Okay, well, I just have to say I really look forward to the 2026-27 school year. I think we're off to a great start.
Yes, and just for the record, I'll make sure that the right side debt is attached to the item because we didn't miss priority 6, and that's just as critical as the other ones. They're all important, so I'll make sure that the public has access to the full presentation, including board annual priority 6. I'm sorry about that error.
Great, thank you. All right, we are now on to item K, action items. K1, facility improvement. K1A, contract with Chaudhry and Associates.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, first by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Okay, unanimous, motion passes. K1B, Division of State Architect Plan Review.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion passes unanimously. I can't talk either. K1C, Division of State Architect Closeout for Silverado Middle School.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion passes unanimously. K1D, request to surplus relocatable classrooms.
Move to approve.
Second?
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Gonzalez
But
Mares.
you always do it.
Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion passes unanimously. K2A, K2 Human Resources, K2A, request to hire educator less than fully credentialed.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion passes unanimously. K3, Instructional Services, K3B, recycle of obsolete health instruction material surplus.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay. Motion passes unanimously. K3C, agreement with Rancho Solano Golf Course.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes unanimously. K3D, agreement with Circle Up Education.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes unanimously. K3E, agreement with Grand Canyon University.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes unanimously. K3F, agreement with California State University East Bay.
Oh, move to approve, sorry.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser.
I'm so excited about this one. I was just thinking about how excited I am about it.
Well, we could. First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay. Anybody would like to say something?
I just think this is so exciting. It's going to add to our dual enrollment opportunities for our high school students, the asynchronous registration for Cal State East Bay. So what this means for our high school students and access to coursework that interests them and challenges them is just extremely exciting.
I'm now also a student at Cal State East Bay. So.
Well, I think we're all very excited about this item. All right, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes unanimously. K3G, student data privacy agreement with Agriculture Experience Tracker.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion passes unanimously. K3G, student data privacy agreement, we did that one. K3H, student data privacy and agreement with Mentis Associates.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion passes unanimously. K3I, student data privacy and renewal agreement with Thompson Creekside Travel.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, first by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion passes unanimously. Okay, K4 operational services. K4A, agreement with Castino Restaurant and Supply for the central kitchen.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
Okay, great, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion passes unanimously. Agreement with Castino Restaurant Equipment and Supply at multiple sites.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion passes unanimously. K4C, Agreement with Casino Restaurant Equipment and Supply for American Canyon High School.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes unanimously. K4D, agreement with Casino Restaurant Equipment and Supply for Valley Oak.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes unanimously. K4E, agreement with Cintas Fire Protection.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes unanimously. K4F, ratification of American Sheet Metal Partition, Inc. agreement.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes unanimously. K4G, ratification of agreement with Ellis Flooring.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay, student board member Sakatani?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, we're now on to item L, informational. L1, general services. None of the committees have met. L2, business services. L2, a warrant register for accounts payable checks issued by NVUSD. Mr. Michaels, any public comments on this item?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay. L2B, quarterly investment report, June 30th, 2026. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay, L3, instructional services. L3A, update of local control and accountability plan, local performance indicator. Mr. Michaels, any public comments on this item?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay, we are now on to item M, additional suggestions and comments from board members and superintendent.
Well, I just want to say one thing. That Moody's report makes me really happy, which is strange considering I was a humanities major. But, you know, this job has gotten me more and more interested in finance. And I just am thinking about where we were 7.5 years ago. And, you know, our stability has enabled us to do so much more for our students. And I'm very proud of that.
I fully agree. All right, item N, future agenda items. Any from the board? Okay. Item O, adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, first by trustee Martin, second by trustee Riser, all student board member Sakatani. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes unanimously. Good night.